Have you ever thought that a food often praised as good for the heart and brain could actually be a silent enemy, one that might trigger a stroke while you sleep? Imagine a peaceful evening. You're sitting in the living room, soft light glowing, reading a story to your grandchild while their laughter fills the air. Then suddenly, in a single fleeting moment, you realize you can't speak. Your hand no longer responds, and your entire body feels locked in place. What was once a moment of happiness instantly turns into a nightmare, not just for you, but for your entire family. This isn't a far-fetched story. Neurologists witness these cases every single day. Older adults who live carefully, exercise regularly, and eat the right foods can still collapse from a sudden stroke in the comfort of their own home. Why does this happen? The answer often shocks people. Some foods we've always believed to be healthy can become hidden dangers as we age. Once you cross 60, your body doesn't function the way it used to. The immune system weakens, the body's ability to filter toxins declines, and even nutrients that were once beneficial may suddenly work against you. Many seniors take medications for heart disease, high blood pressure, or diabetes without realizing that combining these drugs with the wrong foods can reduce the medication's effect, or even cause dangerous complications. Add to that the habit of eating too well, loading up on foods we believe to be nourishing, and the body can be thrown off balance. At night, when blood pressure naturally dips, hormones shift, and the blood thickens and clots more easily, these risks increase dramatically. This is why strokes that strike during sleep are far more common than most people think. What's even more concerning is that many of us continue to believe that simply eating fish, lots of it, automatically protects the brain and the heart. But the truth is far more complicated. Some types of fish, though they appear harmless on your plate, quietly carry toxins and inflammatory compounds that gradually damage memory, joints, and cardiovascular health. On the other hand, certain fish act like natural medicine, helping you stay sharp, keep your bones strong, and maintain a steady heartbeat well into your later years. The important question is this: which type of fish are you eating? And what could happen if you keep choosing the wrong ones? In the next section, we'll uncover the truth. The 4 types of fish people over 60 should absolutely avoid, and the 4 types you should be eating regularly to stay strong, clear-minded, and independent. The cheap choice that could cost you your health. When seniors think of catfish or basa, many immediately picture a familiar dish, easy to cook, soft in texture, mild in taste, and budget-friendly. For countless families, it has long been the go-to option when adding fish to the dinner table. It shows up in sour soups, pan-fried fillets, or simply braised with soy sauce to serve alongside rice. On the surface, imported catfish doesn't seem threatening at all. Affordable, accessible in supermarkets, and even labeled as a healthy food. But the truth behind those fish raised overseas in crowded farms may shock you. The first thing to understand: these fish are often farmed in cramped, polluted ponds with thousands packed tightly together. In such conditions, disease spreads easily. To keep the stock alive, farmers routinely use heavy doses of antibiotics and chemicals. These substances don't simply vanish when the fish are harvested, they seep into the flesh. And when you eat them, the residues accumulate in your body over time. A younger immune system may still cope, but after 60, when your body's defenses are weaker, those hidden antibiotic traces can contribute to drug resistance. Imagine one day needing antibiotics for a serious infection, only to find that years of eating cheap catfish have made them less effective. But antibiotics are just the tip of the iceberg. Independent studies have found imported catfish samples containing traces of heavy metals like mercury and lead, and even banned industrial chemicals. Once inside the body, these toxins travel through the bloodstream and settle in organs like the liver, kidneys, and brain. The damage builds silently. Memory decline, tremors, kidney weakness, constant fatigue, or mysterious aches that never quite go away. For seniors whose detox systems are already slowing down, this hidden burden can turn a budget-friendly meal into a costly health gamble. Another overlooked issue is the feed used in industrial fish farming. To cut expenses, imported catfish are often fed corn and soy foods unnatural to fish. This alters their nutrient profile, making the meat unusually high in omega-6 fats, while being extremely low in omega-3, the very fatty acids known to protect the heart and brain. Instead of delivering anti-inflammatory benefits like wild fish, imported catfish can actually fuel inflammation in the body. For seniors already dealing with arthritis, heart disease, or diabetes, this is like pouring gasoline on a smoldering fire. Unfortunately, many people choose this fish simply because it's cheap and convenient, not realizing they're getting food that is nutritionally poor, low in omega-3, vitamin B12, and essential minerals, but high in risks. If you truly want to enjoy catfish, opt for domestically farmed varieties produced under stricter standards, where antibiotic use, water quality, and feed are better regulated. At the very least, that reduces the danger. The takeaway is clear. Imported catfish may feel like a bargain in the short term, but the long-term price to your health is far too steep. After 60, every meal is either a dose of medicine or a drip of poison, and this particular fish belongs firmly on the avoid list, because sometimes the most ordinary and affordable choice on your plate can be the most dangerous one for your aging heart. The healthy choice that could quietly steal your memory and heartbeat. In many American kitchens, especially for older adults, tuna is almost like a familiar guest at the table. Those convenient cans of tuna are always sitting in the pantry, ready to be tossed into a salad, pressed into a sandwich, or mixed with pasta for a quick meal. For years, people have believed they were making a smart choice: lean protein, low fat, something that's supposedly good for the heart and brain. But behind this healthy image, tuna hides a silent danger, one that becomes especially concerning after the age of 60. The greatest risk lies in mercury. Unlike smaller fish with short lifespans, tuna, especially larger species like albacore, white tuna, or big eye, are predators at the top of the food chain. They live long lives, and in the process, they accumulate mercury from all the smaller fish they consume. By the time tuna reaches your plate, every bite carries with it years of concentrated mercury. For younger people, the body still has some ability to detox heavy metals, but as we age, that capacity declines significantly. For seniors, every serving of tuna leaves behind traces of mercury in the blood, the brain, and the nervous system, layer by layer, year after year. Eventually, the effects surface: memory slips, trembling hands, sudden mood swings, irritability, or unexplained fatigue. Many dismiss these as just old age, or even fear early dementia, when in reality, mercury poisoning may be quietly playing a role. And it doesn't stop with the brain. Mercury also burdens the heart. It interferes with blood vessels and disrupts the electrical signals that regulate your heartbeat. For an older heart already weakened by age, this raises the risk of arrhythmia, high blood pressure, or even sudden cardiac arrest. Research published in JAMA Neurology showed that seniors with higher mercury levels from frequent tuna consumption had a 65% higher risk of cognitive decline compared to those who ate less. That number is not just a statistic, it's a wake-up call. The most dangerous part is its invisibility. Mercury can't be smelled, tasted, or seen. It doesn't make the fish look spoiled. It quietly enters your system and lingers, stored away in tissues and organs. And because it's silent, millions of older adults unknowingly overconsume tuna, believing they are eating clean and healthy. In fact, many rely on canned tuna as a near-daily meal because it's cheap and easy, without realizing that eating just 2 servings of albacore tuna per week can exceed the safe mercury limit. So, does this mean tuna should be completely banned from your diet? Not necessarily. If you truly enjoy its taste, the safer option is light tuna, usually made from smaller skipjack tuna. This variety carries lower mercury levels, but it still requires moderation. For people over 60, the safest approach is no more than once or twice a month, and never as a daily staple. Now, picture this. Instead of a daily tuna sandwich, you swap in salmon, sardines, or cod. These fish not only give you clean protein, but are also rich in omega-3 fatty acids nutrients, proven to fight inflammation, protect memory, and keep the heart strong. That is the kind of nourishment that truly supports healthy aging. The key message here is that tuna is not an absolute enemy, but it is a double-edged sword. After 60, caution matters more than ever. The cost of convenience and routine may be your memory, your balance, or your heartbeat. And by the time symptoms of decline show up, it may be too late to undo the damage. The bottom line, tuna, particularly albacore and big eye, belongs on the list of fish that older adults should either eliminate or strictly limit. Because you deserve to live with clarity, vitality, and independence, not be shackled by tremors, foggy memory, or heart risks caused by a food you thought was harmless, that can quietly break a senior's heart. If you ask many older adults to name a fish they think is nutritious and familiar, a good number will likely say mackerel. Its firm texture, rich flavor, and versatility in dishes whether grilled, braised, or simmered in tomato sauce make it a beloved option in many kitchens. For years, mackerel has carried the reputation of being an brain-boosting, heart-healthy choice. But here's the part most people don't realize. Not all mackerel are created equal. While smaller species like Atlantic or Spanish mackerel are generally safe, rich in omega-3s, and low in toxins, the king mackerel is a completely different story. In fact, major health organizations around the world have put king mackerel on the do not eat list for seniors. The danger begins with its place in the ocean's food chain. King mackerel are large, long-lived predators. Every day they consume countless smaller fish, and with each bite, mercury quietly builds up in their flesh. By the time these fish reach maturity, their mercury levels are far beyond safe limits. So when someone over 60 eats a piece of king mackerel, they're not just eating a fish fillet, They're swallowing years of accumulated heavy metals, the very kind that an aging body struggles to eliminate. Mercury is deceptive. It has no smell, no taste, no obvious signs. It slips into the bloodstream, traveling silently to the brain, nervous system, and heart. Its effects don't show up after one meal, but emerge slowly, disguised as vague symptoms, memory lapses, forgetfulness, trouble focusing, shaky hands, or even feelings of sadness and anxiety. These are often written off as just aging, when in reality, mercury may be the hidden culprit. The cardiovascular system suffers too. Mercury triggers inflammation in blood vessel linings, disrupts the electrical signals that regulate heartbeats, and contributes to irregular rhythms. For someone already dealing with high blood pressure or heart disease, eating king mackerel is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Studies have drawn clear links between consuming this fish and a significantly higher risk of heart attacks and strokes. Yet many people unknowingly eat it, because in supermarkets or restaurants, king mackerel is often labeled simply as mackerel. Without asking for specifics, consumers fall into a dangerous trap. Both the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, have issued strong warnings. Children, pregnant women, and especially older adults should completely avoid king mackerel. This is not just a gentle precaution, it is a red flag warning, because the mercury levels in this fish are high enough to directly harm the brain and heart. And for seniors with weaker liver and kidney function, the body's ability to flush out toxins is already diminished, making the accumulation even more dangerous. But here's the important distinction. Not all mackerel are bad. Spanish mackerel and Atlantic mackerel, the smaller varieties, are actually excellent sources of omega-3 fatty acids and low in mercury. They can still be a safe and nourishing choice. The real issue is awareness, knowing the difference, and being vigilant. Asking the fishmonger which species you're buying, or checking the label at the restaurant, can be the dividing line between a meal that supports your health and one that silently undermines it. The bottom line is simple. While king mackerel may look appealing and taste delicious, for anyone over 60 it is a nutritional trap. It doesn't just cloud memory faster, it also puts the heart at risk of skipping beats, weakening, or failing under pressure. Once you understand the truth, the smartest move is to cross this fish off the menu entirely, because in later life, your meals should be about nourishment and protection, not about gambling with your health over a fillet that looks healthy, but hides a toxic price tag. The cheap choice that costs seniors their health. When it comes to the most common fish in American supermarkets, tilapia almost always tops the list. It's inexpensive, easy to find, and simple to cook. Those soft white fillets look clean and harmless, leading many older adults to believe they're choosing a lean, heart-friendly protein. But behind the convenience and the friendly price tag, farmed tilapia hides a reality so concerning that many nutrition experts now consider it worse for your health than the red meat you've been carefully avoiding. Picture this. Thousands of tilapia crammed into industrial ponds or cages where the water stagnates, polluted by their own waste. In that environment, bacteria and parasites thrive. To prevent mass die-offs, farmers flood the water with antibiotics, fungicides, and parasite-killing chemicals. These substances don't simply disappear. They soak into the fish's flesh and every time you sit down to a tilapia fillet, you're swallowing residues of those same drugs and chemicals. For a body over 60, when the immune system is already weaker, that burden is like a slow drip of poison, weakening defenses, making infections harder to fight, and even contributing to antibiotic resistance. Imagine one day needing medication for a serious infection, only to discover your body no longer responds well because it's been quietly trained by years of chemical-tainted meals. But the problem doesn't stop at chemicals. What these fish are fed is just as alarming. In industrial operations, tilapia are often fed corn, soy, and even poultry byproducts ingredients completely unnatural to their diet. This cheap feed skews the fat profile of the fish in a dangerous way. Ideally, the body needs a balanced ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids to control inflammation. In farmed tilapia, that ratio can reach a staggering 11.1. That means, instead of delivering anti-inflammatory benefits like other fish, tilapia actually fuels inflammation in the body. For seniors already struggling with arthritis, heart disease, or diabetes, eating tilapia is like throwing gasoline on the fire. The science backs this up. Several studies have shown that eating tilapia can trigger higher levels of inflammatory markers in the blood, sometimes even more than eating bacon or red meat. Let that sink in. The very fish many seniors reach for as a light, healthy option may actually be stoking the flames of the chronic inflammation that drives heart disease, dementia, and other age-related illnesses. And then comes the hidden toxin no one expects, dioxins. Independent testing has found residues of these industrial pollutants in farmed tilapia. Dioxins are dangerous because they accumulate in body fat and linger for years. They've been linked to cancer, immune suppression, and hormonal disruption. For seniors, whose bodies are already less efficient at clearing toxins, dioxins are like time bombs, quietly ticking away. You don't know when they'll explode, but by the time they do, the damage may be irreversible. What makes the situation even worse is how little nutritional value you actually get in return. Farmed tilapia are notoriously low in omega-3s, low in selenium, and low in vitamin B12, all of which are essential for brain function, bone strength, and cardiovascular health. In short, the risks are high and the benefits are minimal. That innocent-looking white fillet is, nutritionally speaking, little more than empty calories fast food of the seafood world. Some might argue, well, a little tilapia here and there can't hurt. But here's the truth. Many households have made it a staple because it's cheap and accessible. And that's where the danger lies. It's not about a single meal, it's about repetition. Day after day, week after week, the toxins, the inflammation, and the nutritional emptiness all add up. The result? A body that becomes more fragile, more inflamed, and more vulnerable to the very illnesses you've been trying to prevent. The good news is you have better options. If you're looking for affordable, safe, and truly nourishing fish, turn to sardines, cod, or U.S. farmed rainbow trout. These species are not only richer in omega-3s, but also offer higher levels of vitamins and minerals without the same toxic baggage. They fuel the brain, protect the heart, and keep joints strong, exactly what seniors need to maintain independence and quality of life. The takeaway here is crystal clear. Farmed tilapia, no matter how common or budget-friendly, is one of the worst choices for older adults. It isn't neutral. It actively contributes to inflammation, immune decline, and even cancer risk. At 60 and beyond, every meal should be seen as a chance to nourish strength, clarity, and vitality. Tilapia doesn't move you closer to that goal, it quietly pulls you further away. So, let's call tilapia what it is: a false promise of health that comes at too high a price. The Smarter, Part 3. The Quiet Hero for Seniors over 60. When people think of heart-healthy fish, salmon or tuna usually come first to mind. Rarely does anyone think of the humble Pacific cod, a mild, white fish that doesn't boast the rich color of salmon or the luxury appeal of tuna steaks. Yet beneath its simple appearance, wild-caught Pacific cod may very well be one of the most powerful allies for aging bodies, especially after 60. In fact, it could be called the quiet hero of senior health, providing exactly the kind of nutrition that supports strength, memory, and independence. One of the greatest challenges after 60 is muscle loss, or sarcopenia. You might notice the stairs feel steeper, carrying groceries takes more effort, or balance isn't quite as steady as before. The culprit isn't just aging, it's often a lack of high-quality protein in the daily diet. This is where Pacific cod shines. A single serving can deliver nearly 40 grams of lean, easily digestible protein. That's enough to feed aging muscles, maintain strength, prevent dangerous falls, and help you keep doing everyday activities with confidence without relying on others. But Pacific cod's gifts don't stop at protein. It is also rich in selenium, a mineral many older adults unknowingly lack. Think of selenium as microscopic armor for your cells. It protects against oxidative stress, the slow rusting of the body that accelerates aging and chronic disease. Studies from the National Institutes of Health show that seniors with higher selenium levels tend to have sharper memory, slower cognitive decline, and lower risk of age-related illnesses. In other words, every bite of cod not only nourishes your muscles, but also shields your brain. Then there's vitamin B12, another nutrient that becomes harder to absorb as we age. Without enough B12, fatigue, nerve damage, tingling hands, muscle weakness, and memory loss can creep in. Cod is a natural, highly absorbable source of this essential vitamin, along with phosphorus, a mineral that works with calcium to keep bones solid. Pacific cod supports a foundation of strong bones and a sharp mind, two essentials for staying independent as the years advance. Another major advantage is cod's purity. Unlike large predatory fish such as tuna or king mackerel, which accumulate heavy metals like mercury during their long lives, Pacific cod is shorter-lived and harvested from the clean, cold waters of Alaska. This makes it one of the safest choices for seniors to eat regularly without fear of toxic buildup. Even better, Alaskan cod fisheries are sustainably managed, so you're not only protecting your health, but also supporting a healthier ocean ecosystem. And let's not forget digestion. Many seniors find oily fish heavy on the stomach, leaving them bloated or uncomfortable. Cod, by contrast, is light, tender, and easy to digest, making it perfect even for those with sensitive stomachs or reduced digestive strength. That means you can enjoy it often, without the worry of discomfort. Of course, how you cook it matters. Deep frying at high heat can damage delicate proteins and reduce selenium content. A gentle bake, steam, or poach preserves the nutrients and keeps the flavor fresh. A drizzle of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, or a sprinkle of fresh herbs is often all it takes to create a dish that's both delicious and deeply nourishing. The bottom line? Pacific cod may not be flashy, but it is one of the most reliable, senior-friendly fish available. It supports muscle strength, protects brain health, stabilizes thyroid function, and keeps the whole body resilient against aging stressors. In a world where many fish are questionable due to toxins or industrial farming, wild-caught Pacific cod stands out as a clean, safe, and nutrient-dense choice. For anyone over 60 who wants to preserve independence, vitality, and peace of mind, making Pacific cod a regular guest at your dinner table is a smart, simple, and powerful decision. In the seafood world, sardines rarely get the spotlight. They're small, humble, often found stacked in cans on supermarket shelves, not exactly the glamorous image of superfood. Yet behind their modest size, sardines may be one of the most powerful foods for senior health. For those over 60, these tiny fish can make a huge difference in how well you move, think, and feel every day. Think about the last time you opened a can of sardines, small soft fish, sometimes with their delicate bones still intact. They don't look as impressive as a salmon fillet or as rich as tuna steak, but what they lack in appearance, they make up for in safety and nutrition. Sardines live short lives, feeding mostly on plankton at the very bottom of the ocean food chain. This makes them some of the cleanest fish you can eat, almost free of mercury and heavy metals. Unlike tuna, king mackerel, or some farmed salmon that quietly accumulate toxins over the years, sardines remain pure, light, and safe for regular consumption. What makes sardines a true superfood is their incredible concentration of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, the two forms of omega-3 that play the biggest role in protecting the heart, brain, and joints. For seniors, omega-3s are like nature's anti-inflammatory medicine. As the years go by, chronic low-grade inflammation becomes almost inevitable. Stiff knees, aching joints, brain fog, or a heart that tires more easily. The omega-3s in sardines quietly calm this internal fire, helping blood vessels stay flexible, keeping heart rhythms steady, and even sharpening memory. Research shows that older adults who eat small, oily fish like sardines at least twice a week lower their risk of heart disease, maintain better mobility, and often enjoy a more stable, uplifted mood compared to those who rarely eat them. But that's just the beginning. Sardines are also one of the richest natural sources of vitamin D, something many seniors lack. After 60, your skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight, leaving bones fragile, the immune system weaker, and energy levels lower. Just one small can of sardines can provide nearly 40% of your daily vitamin D needs. Combine that with calcium and phosphorus from the soft, edible bones, and you've got a powerful trio for bone strength. By eating the whole fish meat and bones, you're absorbing calcium in one of its most natural, highly usable forms, without needing to rely on pills. Sardines also deliver vitamin B12, a nutrient many seniors become deficient in due to reduced stomach absorption. Low B12 often shows up as fatigue, memory slips, tingling in the hands and feet, or mood changes. By including sardines regularly, you restore a key building block for energy production, nerve health, and mental clarity. And let's not forget the protein. Sardines may be small, but they pack a full spectrum of amino acids that help preserve muscle mass. For seniors, Maintaining muscle isn't about looking toned. It's about staying independent. Strong muscles mean better balance, fewer falls, and the ability to keep doing the daily activities you love. Sardines give you all of that, in a form that's easy to digest. Another major advantage: convenience. No need to worry about freshness, long cooking times, or complicated recipes. Sardines are ready to go right out of the can. Mix them into a salad, mash with avocado, and spread on whole grain toast, or toss with pasta and olive oil for a quick Mediterranean-style meal. They're affordable, versatile, and simple, perfect for older adults who want nutrition without the burden of heavy kitchen work. Of course, there are a few things to watch out for. Some canned sardines come packed in cheap oils or salty sauces. Extra sodium can raise blood pressure, so it's best to choose sardines packed in olive oil, water, or tomato sauce. 2 to 3 cans per week is plenty to give your body a steady supply of gold-standard nutrients without overdoing it. The real takeaway here is simple. Don't underestimate sardines just because they're small or inexpensive. In a world where many fish are risky due to toxins or over-farming, sardines stand out as the clean, affordable, nutrient-rich choice. If tuna and king mackerel are ticking time bombs on the plate, sardines are like a compact shield, quietly, reliably protecting your heart, bones, and brain. Instead of chasing expensive, flashy seafood options, sometimes the smartest investment in longevity is the most modest one: a humble can of sardines. They may be small, but for seniors looking to add years of strength, clarity, and vitality, these little fish are giants in disguise. When people think of healthy fish, salmon almost always tops the list. But here's the important truth. Not all salmon are created equal. The majority of salmon found in supermarkets today is farm-raised, often kept in crowded pens, fed unnatural diets, and exposed to antibiotics and chemicals. For seniors who believe they're making a heart-healthy choice, farmed salmon can be disappointing at best and harmful at worst. But wild-caught Alaskan salmon tells a completely different story. This isn't just another meal. It's almost like nature's prescription for a stronger heart, sharper mind, and longer life. What makes Alaskan salmon so exceptional is its abundance of pure omega-3 fatty acids, EPA, and DHA. These are the exact nutrients your body needs most after 60. Think of omega-3s as your body's repair crew. They quietly reduce joint inflammation, keep your heart beating steadily, and shield your brain cells from aging. A well-known study from the University of Pittsburgh found that seniors with higher DHA levels in their blood had larger brain volumes and better memory than those with lower levels. In other words, a plate of salmon isn't just dinner. It's an investment in your mental clarity and independence. The benefits extend far beyond the brain. Omega-3s improve blood flow, lower bad LDL cholesterol, and restore flexibility to aging blood vessels. If you've ever struggled with high blood pressure, heavy legs, or tingling in your hands and feet, these anti-inflammatory properties can help bring real relief. For seniors already dealing with stiff joints or cardiovascular risks, Alaskan salmon is one of the most powerful natural tools available. And then there's its brilliant pink-orange color, not from food dye or artificial feed, but from astaxanthin, one of the strongest natural antioxidants on Earth. Astaxanthin is many times more potent than vitamin C or E in fighting oxidative stress, the internal rusting process that accelerates aging. Thanks to this nutrient, Alaskan salmon not only protects your brain and heart, but also helps skin stay elastic, eyesight sharper, and muscles more resilient. It's no surprise that even older athletes around the world credit wild salmon for helping them stay active and competitive. Alaskan salmon also provides a nutrient symphony that's especially critical after 60, selenium, which shields the heart and supports thyroid balance. Vitamin D, essential for bone strength and immunity, and often deficient in seniors. Vitamin B12 and B6, which keep energy steady and protect the nervous system. Phosphorus, a partner mineral to calcium that fortifies bones against fractures. Each fillet, then, is like a natural multivitamin tailor, made for the challenges of aging. But the biggest difference between Alaskan wild salmon and farmed salmon comes down to safety. Farmed salmon has repeatedly tested positive for chemical residues, parasites, and even PCBs, a toxin linked to cancer. By contrast, wild Alaskan salmon swim freely in cold, pristine waters, feeding on natural plankton and krill. No antibiotics, no crowded pens, no hidden toxins. That means you can eat it with peace of mind, knowing you're nourishing your body, not filling it with substances that may do harm. Of course, preparation matters too. To preserve omega-3s and astaxanthin, avoid deep frying or cooking at very high heat. Instead, try gentle methods: bake, steam, or pan-sear briefly. A drizzle of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, and a side of leafy greens is enough to turn a simple fillet into a nutrient-dense feast. Picture this: a quiet dinner with a piece of Alaskan salmon, lightly baked, brightened with fresh lemon, paired with steamed broccoli and a touch of olive oil. It's comforting, delicious, and every bite is working behind the scenes to strengthen your heart, sharpen your memory, and keep your bones sturdy. You're not just eating to feel full. You're eating to thrive. The bottom line is crystal clear. Wild-caught Alaskan salmon is one of the rare foods that's both delicious and profoundly healing. It's the perfect combination of safety, purity, and nutrition. If you could only choose a handful of fish to include regularly after 60, Alaskan salmon should absolutely be on that list. Each time you place it on your plate, you're not just enjoying a flavorful meal, you're planting seeds of strength, clarity, and vitality for the years ahead. When people think of nutrient-rich fish, salmon almost always steals the spotlight. But there's a quiet cousin that rarely makes the headlines, yet has earned the respect of nutrition experts worldwide as one of the safest and friendliest choices for seniors: rainbow trout. Unlike many farmed fish raised in crowded pens with antibiotics and questionable feed, most rainbow trout in the United States are grown under strict, clean standards in freshwater systems, with controlled flow and close monitoring. This means that when you eat rainbow trout, you're not worrying about mercury, antibiotics, or hidden industrial chemicals. For seniors, this level of reassurance is priceless. Rainbow trout isn't just food, it's long-term peace of mind. But safety is only the beginning. Rainbow trout is a nutritional treasure chest. A single portion delivers around 1,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids, an ideal dose for protecting your heart. Omega-3s help blood vessels stay flexible, reduce chronic inflammation, and stabilize heartbeat. After 60, when the risks of high blood pressure, atherosclerosis, and stroke rise sharply, omega-3s from rainbow trout act like a silent gatekeeper, keeping the heart resilient against time. Rainbow trout also brings back balance where it matters most. Potassium. Seniors often consume too much sodium, salt, which pushes blood pressure higher, while potassium intake quietly drops. Potassium works like nature's counterweight to sodium, easing strain on blood vessels and helping maintain steady pressure. Each fillet of rainbow trout is a natural way to restore that balance. Beyond potassium, you also get phosphorus for stronger bones, iron to support red blood cell production, keeping fatigue at bay, and zinc to strengthen immunity while preserving taste and smell senses that often dull with age. Then come the B vitamins, particularly niacin, B3, and B12. Niacin works behind the scenes to improve cholesterol, raising HDL, good cholesterol, while lowering LDL, bad cholesterol, slowing plaque buildup in arteries. B12, meanwhile, is the brain's fuel, supporting nerve health, memory, and focus. Many seniors mistake B12 deficiency for normal aging. But the truth is, a single serving of rainbow trout can give the body what it's been missing, lifting energy and sharpening memory. Add to that vitamin E, a potent antioxidant that protects cells from oxidative damage and keeps the immune system strong. Combined with omega-3 and selenium, vitamin E forms a three-layer shield against oxidative stress, the root cause of many age-related conditions, from heart disease to Alzheimer's. Together, they create a defense system that works silently in your favor. Of course, nutrition only matters if the food is enjoyable. And this is where rainbow trout shines again. It's light, tender, and easy to digest. Seniors who struggle with the richness of salmon or the strong flavor of mackerel often find rainbow trout to be a pleasant alternative. The mild taste and delicate texture make it easy to eat, chew, and digest even for those with sensitive stomachs. Cooking rainbow trout is also refreshingly simple. You don't need heavy sauces or complicated recipes. Try steaming it with herbs, baking it with fresh lemon and dill, or lightly pan-searing with olive oil. Each method preserves the gentle flavor and locks in nutrients. Picture a summer evening, a golden-baked trout fillet, drizzled with lemon juice, paired with roasted potatoes, and a crisp green salad. That's not just dinner, it's nourishment for your heart, memory, and bones in every bite. Rainbow trout isn't showy. It doesn't demand attention like Alaskan salmon with its deep pink flesh, or sardines with their omega-3 headlines. Instead, it offers balance and consistency. It's the dependable friend who shows up day after day, quietly helping your heart, brain, and bones stay strong. And that consistency is exactly what seniors need most. Not a dramatic cure, but a reliable ally for the long road ahead. The takeaway is simple. Rainbow trout deserves a place in your weekly meals. It's clean, safe, and nutrient-dense, with none of the hidden risks of many other fish. Think of Alaskan salmon as the shining star, while rainbow trout was the steady companion, less glamorous, perhaps, but equally vital. For those over 60, including rainbow trout in your diet isn't just a smart choice. It's an investment in independence, vitality, and peace of mind. We've now completed the journey of uncovering the truth behind some of the most common fish on our dinner plates. Some species that once carried the label of lean protein or heart healthy turn out to be silent threats as we age. Imported catfish, tuna, king mackerel, and farmed tilapia are not only nutritionally poor, but often carry mercury, antibiotics, and pro-inflammatory compounds that slowly weaken the heart, blur memory, and chip away at resilience. Eating these fish regularly is like allowing your health to be eroded day by day, quietly, invisibly. But here's the good news. Not all fish are the enemy. On the other side of the story, nature gives us powerful allies, true foods as medicine, hiding in plain sight. Wild Pacific cod, sardines, wild Alaskan salmon, and rainbow trout are shining examples. They deliver clean protein, abundant omega-3s, protective vitamins, and essential minerals, all without the toxic burden of their industrial counterparts. Each meal with these fish isn't just about filling your stomach. It's about strengthening your mind, safeguarding your joints, keeping your heart steady, and preserving independence well into the later years of life. The choice, when you think about it, is simple, but it carries enormous weight. Continue relying on cheap, convenient, but risky fish, and you quietly build up health problems, stroke risk, memory decline, joint pain, even faster aging. But swap them for the right fish, and you're laying the foundation for a different future, one where you can still carry your own groceries, still recall family stories with clarity, and still live strong and independent, not dependent. After 60, every meal is no longer just routine. It's a decision that shapes your quality of life. What you put on your plate today, your body will echo tomorrow. Don't underestimate the difference between a cheap fillet and a clean fillet. That small choice could mark the boundary between years of disease and years of vitality. If this message resonates with you, share it with a friend, a sibling, or someone over 60 in your circle, because sometimes one small change at the dinner table can protect a life. And I'd love to hear from you. Which fish do you eat most often? And now that you know the truth, are you ready to rethink your menu? Your story matters. Let's start the conversation. Together, we can build a stronger, sharper, more resilient life after 60, where every meal becomes a daily dose of longevity and strength.